Beetlejuice Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Shut up. You crazy? We don't want that guy running around in here. You are meddling with powers you do not understand.
The juice is loose. After a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Deetz family return to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter, Astrid, accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife.
I need you to help me save my daughter.
But how do I know that you're gonna keep your word?
I swear on my dead mother's soul. Days.
The first Beetlejuice is a staple of my childhood. I think this is probably the first Tim Burton film I ever saw. It was a gateway for me into the weird and abstract and ghoulish gothic humor with a dark side, yet still zany enough that as a kid I enjoyed, in fact, loved this first film.
Shake, Sinora, shake your body liner.
So when I heard they were releasing a sequel, over 30 years later, I wasn't really excited. In fact, I was very, very nervous. I find that sequel legacies don't really hold up, or they're usually a complete wash, or, they're just kind of trying to do the same thing that the original film did.
Everything's a copy of a copy of a copy.
So when I finally got to see Beetlejuice, I was quite surprised to say it actually was a pretty good movie. Of course, Michael Keaton returning as the great ghoul, the ghost with the most is back, and he is just awesome. Like, he's in this film a fair amount more than he is in the original, but he's still not in this film, too much. There's so many characters in this movie that Beetlejuice is probably still only in it for about half hour, 40 minutes. And that's what's so cool about the original, is that he's only in it for like 5 minutes or so. Yet, every time he's on screen, every moment he takes up space on the screen, he steals the show. Like, he steals it from all the other actors. This character is so much fun, and I love seeing Michael Keaton return to Beetlejuice. I would watch, another movie after this film with him in it.
He's not down with the trilogy.
The other person who I thought really stood out in this film, again, of course, is the great Katherine OHara, back as the mother, and she is hysterical. She might even be funnier in this film than she is in the original, but I thought her and Michael Keaton were just absolute standouts, and Katherine OHara being a Canadian pride baby.
If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me!
The rest of the cast is good too. I'm not saying that they did a bad job or anything, but those 2 performances really did stand out. The next great thing about this film is the vibe, the feel of this movie. They recaptured the tone, the essence, the energy that the first original film had. Generally, they did a great job of bringing back that chemistry and the feel of it, but at the same time not being a carbon copy of the original film. While they captured the energy and the essence, one of the downfalls of this film was that there was a lot of characters being introduced, and they could have cut out a couple of characters in this film. Like Justin Theroux's character, I'm not sure needed to be in there. Same as like Willem Dafoe, though I loved Willem Dafoe in this movie. He is so funny. There are lots of, plot lines in this film. There's a thing with Jenny Ortega, who's Lydia's, teenage daughter in this film, and this other guy that she meets, and then there's the Justin Theroux, Winona Ryder, Lydia sort of love story. Then there's the whole thing with Beetlejuice and his ex-wife Dolores, who is coming after him. And then there's Willem Dafoe's character, who's like the police trying to search after Dolores, and also Beetlejuice. It's just a lot of stuff that's crammed into this movie.
All right, it's getting crowded in here. Everyone out, come on.
And it felt like they had a bunch of ideas for Beetlejuice movies, and then decided just to kind of throw them all into this big pot. They stapled together a storyline very loosely, and it works in the end. It gets there, but it definitely meanders at parts and feels a bit muddled and clustered. The comedy in this film is awesome. I thought there were a lot of laugh out loud moments. In fact, in this movie, because it's 14A, they're allowed to give like one F-bomb sort of thing in the film. And when they drop that F-bomb, it is perfect. It is hysterical.
What the f?
The directing is awesome in this film. Tim Burton hasn't really, in my mind, made a great film in 15 years. Like, there isn't really much he's done that has been impressive. The art direction, the costumes, the set pieces, the props, the visual effects, it being all very real and practical effects, real lights, you know, not a lot of green screen, and it works. Like, it looks so good on screen. The soundtrack to this movie is great, of course. Now, I have to say, the dance number in this film, there is a moment where Michael Keaton is playing on the guitar and he's lip singing, and it is absolutely awesome and hysterical. But I'm talking about it a little bit later on in the movie. They do another, you know, musical number being possessed. Like in the first one, it's that Day-o, Day-o. It was such a catchy song. It made that scene just absolutely awesome and cool and strange. And in this film, they do it and it's funny, but the song choice that they had, I wasn't quite sure why they chose that song. It's not very catchy, it's not very poppy, and it doesn't really stand out. Didn't quite live up to the same as the original. And I get it, that's really hard to do when the original is so special. And while the cinematography to this movie looks great, it almost looks too good at times. And what I mean by that is the tone of the movie is a bit lost a little bit. The visual flair and the grittiness is kind of lost with the new glossy cameras of the 21st century. And that's a little bit of a shame because it does lose its visual appeal. I think the original just has a charm that was captured like lightning in a bottle, and you're not ever really able to fully capture that again. And while this movie tried really hard to do that, and in some ways they were successful, in some ways they just weren't, and it's impossible to do that. But I have to say, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I think most people who are fans of the original will really enjoy this one as well. It is worth checking out in theaters. It's nice to see it up on a big screen. If you like this video, please make sure you click like down below and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, while you're down there, comment down below, what did you think of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice? Is this a great legacy sequel, or were you really let down with this film? What is also your favorite Tim Burton film? Or give me a ranking of your top 5 down below. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Beetlejuice Beetlejuice a B+. Come back and check out some other video reviews such as Trap, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Alien Romulus. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next film. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get taught.